Hey, today the gloves are coming off because I'm going to show you exactly how the lead hand works in the golf swing. Hey, welcome to the channel today. Look, taking the glove off today because I've got to explain to you the function of the lead hand, because you'd be surprised at how much this lead hand position can affect your entire swing motion. I see it happen all the time. I just returned from a golf school, and people who have their lead hand in an incorrect position cannot square a face effectively, efficiently, and correctly because of a simple lead hand grip change. You could have the best motion of a golf swing in the world. You could have the perfect swing motion, and if your lead hand is incorrectly on the golf club in relation to the face, you will hook the golf ball and slice the golf ball. And if you don't fix the lead hand position, you'll hit the golf ball everywhere, and then you'll start making compensations in your motion. I see it happen all the time. We have got to get the lead hand on the club in the correct way. So I'm taking the glove off so you can see exactly where this hand goes. I'm going to explain to you in detail the lead hand. I want to say that most people take their hand position for granted. Now, you might think about it a lot, and you might be trying different things a lot, but the effectiveness of your hand, the efficiency of the hand sit on the golf club is majorly important to how the arms function. It's important to how the shoulders function. It's important to how the body moves, because everything you do in the motion of the arms is to get this club face square and on the proper path. So let me show you exactly how the hands work in the swing, and then I'm going to show you how we put this lead hand on there to get this to happen. When I set up to a golf ball in the single plane swing, you want this forearm rotated to its max range. Now, I've talked about this before. You have to have the body tilted. A max range rotation of the lead hand, and then it puts the face into a square relationship with the maximum rotation of the forearm. That's major, and I'll tell you why it's major, because when I swing a golf club and I move the club into the hitting area here before I strike the ball with speed, this thing goes into its max range, and that squares the face. So if you're having trouble squaring the face, you're having trouble getting this in a position where it can max out its range. You may over-rotate it, you may be under-rotated, some reason, but the goal is to get this thing and max range that forearm into a square face position. Now, as I say this, one of the questions I get asked quite often is, Todd, how hard should I swing at the golf ball? I think you should swing as hard as you want to. If you want to hit 80% might be where you play golf, that's pretty hard. And then you have another 20% in the bag. But it shouldn't affect your ability to square a face, because this is maxing out its range. So no matter how hard I swing, this is getting to square. Now, there's some tricks to this. And this hand is tricky because this is where people grab it in the fingers, too strong. They grab it in the palm, too weak. They do all types of stuff with this. Maybe unknowingly, maybe they don't understand it. But anyway, it screws up the face, and now they're in big trouble. So watch what I do with the lead hand, and let me explain exactly how this club face, I can get this club face angle working perfectly, and I can square a face every single time. So watch what I do. I'm just going to do lead hand only. So body tilt matters, lead arm position matters. The hand is now rotated to match the face angle. Now, I want you to notice my hand. Notice how there's a gap between my thumb and my index finger. Notice my fingers are very close together. I'm not doing this. This is a mistake. I'm doing this. The fingers are close together, and by the fingers being close together and this gap forms, watch what happens to the wrist. This is called ulnar deviation. I can get ulnar deviation in the wrist. If I close this gap, see that? Close the gap. I didn't change the hand much, I just closed that gap. I have a hard time getting ulnar deviation in the wrist. Watch when I open that gap, it lifts the entire arm. This is where the mistakes start happening. People don't pay attention. They grab this thing like this, and they look down, they go, the face is square, but it's not square, and it's not in a position where the hand can square it. So, again, fingers close together. Now, the other thing that happens with this thumb position, it is not down the middle of the shaft. It is right of center line. So why is that? Very important. Gap here, face angle to the back of the hand to the face angle, that can go to the target. Now watch what happens when I make a backswing. So here's my hand position. I don't rotate the hands. Watch this. I turn, and the turn of the arm occurs because of the rotation of the body. I didn't do this, I didn't rotate the hand, I simply moved everything back into an extended position. Notice the position of the hand now. It's still matching the face angle. Slightly down, matching the face angle. Now, this is called radial deviation. This thumb goes upward and works radially. Notice that radial movement has a limit. See, that has a limit. I can't go further than that. Now, if I had my hand incorrectly placed, I can go all over the place. I can cock it, and some people have to do that because they got a closed face, they got to figure it out, and then they got a big problem. So you get all types of rotation. All I want is a hand positioned, ulnar deviated, in a perfect relationship with the face to go in and up, and then radial up. And now look, check that face out. It's perfectly plane. So let me do it. I'm going to do it from the online camera. You're going to see inward and upward, and now you see face plane. That plane of that face should match the back of this arm and hand. So now, why is that important? Here we go. Here we go into biomechanics again. People ask me all the time, is it a push or a pull? It's a both. Let me explain. I'm at the top of the swing. I stabilize the body. I'm going to rotate the body now, right? Pelvis and torso. When I do this, I can pull on the golf club. I can pull on this arm because it's radial deviated, and the shaft is in an alignment with this radius bone, and now I can pull on it. So I can pull. So the first part of the swing, yes, it's a pull. This hand moves it along for the ride, and then when you get to here, I'm going to basically throw the right arm. So as I turn, don't just stop turning. And what happens now, when I'm going through this area, look what happens here. This hand, this shoulder becomes, in the pulling motion, this shoulder gets isolated, upward, isolated, can't go anywhere. And then this hand goes like this. It goes external rotation to impact. See that? So it goes internal rotation, radial deviation, stabilization, turning. Watch the forearm now, rotates to impact. And look, I can't go further than that. I can't go further. Max range, and that's square face. In other words, swing as hard as you want, square the face. Hard as you want, square the face. I never have to worry about squaring a face. Now, I'm not going to get into the right hand in a lot of detail, but I want to show you what's happening in this process. The right hand helps this thumb because this is it's kind of a hard position. The club's pretty heavy, and the longer the club gets, this gets hard on the wrist. So this hand, see that my palm of this hand, it goes over top of that thumb, and it supports what this radial deviated lead wrist is doing, so I can pull and not have to worry about the pressure on this wrist. That's why the hand position is important. And again, you guys get so caught up in palm, grip, all this crap you do with these hands, and it's really about the wrists working together correctly. It's not really about the hands. If we get the hands on there correctly and the wrist can function properly, then you have stability, you have speed, you have power, and you have a club face, hand to club face relationship, which allows you to swing correctly. Here we go, super easy swing here. And you'll notice my hands, look at the lead hand position, look at my trail hand position. I'm going to make a nice little swing here. I won't swing hard, and the club will square up perfectly at impact. And look, I'm not trying to square a face. I'm not forcing a face square. I'm not going roll the hands. None of that's happening. What I'm doing is I'm going here, and because of my body position, it's the only place the hand can go. The only place the hand can go is square because it's in a square position to start with. It's max range, and it maxes its range out when I'm in position. Again, body positions matter to that because if I'm out of position, its max range is not square anymore. We'll get into more of that when we talk about body movement. Again, hope that helps you understand the importance of the lead hand. Thanks for joining me. Click the bell icon, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel because there's no better information about single point swing than right here with Todd Graves and Graves Golf.